everybody, welcome to BrickVault. My name is Mike and it is time for another weekly MOCs episode. I have 10 MOCs as usual for you, from my least favorite to my most favorite one. This week we have Star Wars, we have some buildings, we have some Microscale stuff, so that's pretty cool. And also remember to send your MOCs. There's gonna be an email in the description below along with the rules. So without too much more talking, let's check out the first MOC. And as always guys, the links to those awesome creations can be found in the video description below, and also if you want to submit your MOCs, be sure to check out the email for that and the rules that apply. And for number 10 this week we have a build called Space Apes Brother by LEGO 7. That is a build for two humanoid apes in spacesuits, and boy, they look very organic. The build is scaled pretty well. Both suits are different, so you can see plenty of details on their backpacks and their equipment they carry. But the cool thing about this one is they actually come with a rover. Somewhat of a moon rover, but it has also a lot of cool equipment, a number of details that just are astonishing, and overall it kind of looks like an overscaled classic space LEGO set. There is also some good photography right there, and the build is just well worth the list. Alright, moving up to number 9, something more earthly, that is the Dodge Challenger by Senator Chinchilla. And I have to say that I do love American muscle cars, this one is no different, and a good LEGO build for such car cannot just go right past by me. This is a brick built vehicle, not much of LEGO technique used here, which is a plus for me. And of course everything opens up, both the hood and the trunk, with fully functioning doors, and the interior is also very well designed. It reminds me of the big creator sets like the Volkswagens, and boy, this one could make a really good set as well. One more cool thing is you can even retract the seats and pull them forward to make space for the back passengers. That is a certainly awesome build, and if you want to check out more cars in this style, be sure to check out the creator's Flickr page. We had some space, we had a car, and now let's move into the cockpit of a Poseidon, an underwater submarine by Doom. And this impression of this build that makes up for the spot number 8 on the list, that it looks like a set straight from the Aquazone line. Definitely one of my favorite themes from the 90s. But the build is of course much more epic. The color combination of course works so well with those yellow and blues and gray details on the side, like those technical details. And the proportions for this sub feel so great. The engines are really massive in the back, and the cockpit with a really cool design for some side panels works really well. I always appreciate a good build like that from not so popular builders, so be sure to give him a small shout out just by checking his Flickr page. Number 7 is Star Wars, because we just had the Star Wars Celebration Day on the May 25th, which was the 40th anniversary of releasing the first movie, that is the New Hope. And this build, simply called I Love Star Wars, is a 3-story diorama by Brian and G3. Of course, it is a unique build, being a 3-story diorama once again, but the coolest part probably is that the whole build incorporates some famous scenes from every single movie. And speaking of that, we have a frame from the pod racer race, we have some battle droids, we have the Jedi fight on Mustafar, we have Dagobah with Yoda, we have Vader's audience in the hangar bay, the moment where Han Solo meets Kylo Ren, and even the Chirrut Imwes fight from Rogue One. The whole creation is just a great homage to the entire Star Wars universe, and pretty much a perfect build to show off on such an important anniversary. The Force is definitely strong in this one. Alright, we go up to number 6, but we go down in scale. Number 6 is actually two builds from two different builders. I just couldn't choose which one is better. Both are Microscale, and this one here is the Microscale Batmobile, just speeding across an industrial zone in Gotham. That is such a small build, but yet the designer Grantmaster was able to pack a lot of details into this one. The vehicle itself consists of maybe 6 or 7 or maybe 10 at tops pieces, and the entire build is probably not more than 30 or 40. But yet it looks amazing, and it definitely was worth it to make the list. And the exequo build for number 6 is called the Rushwater Fortress by Simon and H. And boy, this is a great little Microscale vignette. The use of pieces is simply top notch. There is the broomstick that makes up for this bridge, one cool use here, a number of minifig arms, Thor's hammers, pyramids, some Technic bushings. All this makes up a really tiny but very well made castle. I am just astonished how much you can create just by using very few pieces and a lot of your imagination. Both these builders are really experienced in building Microscale builds, so be sure to check out their Flickr pages. Alright, and number 5 hits the nostalgia notes. That is the Everything New is Old Again title for this build, and this is just a classic desk with a very old computer and a chair by McVeigh. But the simplicity of the build really makes a win here. All the details on the desk are just recreated perfectly, and we have even the opening drawers with a lot of cool stuff inside as well. That does take you back to those times when you actually had to not use the phone to use the internet. That is such a great build that I may even try to recreate it on my own and just have this model on my desk. And moving up the list, we are getting into some bigger builds. Number 4 is called the UIL Cafe by Brandon WYC. I don't know the details about this one too much, but it seems to be like some sort of an architecture project even so. But overall it is a beautiful massive modular building with a lot of lighting inside for a very modern downtown city cafe. I love seeing massive MOCs from builders because, you know, we have this Lego city and I would just love to see this one inside. Most likely it does take 4 base plates to position, but the nightlife that Brandon was able to put in his MOC is simply astonishing. There is a lot of movement, a lot of situations in front and inside the cafe. I also love the builds for the vegetation here and there. The amount of details is really staggering. The interiors are very well designed, and overall I think it's just the ultimate building you would add to any modern Lego city. There is a really good job, Brandon, and if you by any chance have a file for this MOC, feel free to send it in. We may make an episode on that. Alright, and moving into top 3, we are getting somewhat technical. Number 3 is an actual functioning Lego fan. That is a caged desk fan by Grant Davis, and it looks just like the real thing. Of course, you can turn it on and it, well, blows the air. The creator Grant was asking for a lot of puns in the comments, so I will just say I'm pretty blown away by this build. I guess that's not very original, but anyway, this is a good one. If you look from afar, it doesn't really look like Lego, and that's what makes it so special. It sometimes gets hot here in the office, so if the AC is not on, I would love to have such fun on my desk. So you know, Grant, if you do have instructions for that, feel free to contact us. I would love to build this. Number 2 on the list is also highly technical and probably the most technical I have seen in a while. That is the, wait for it, 5+1 rotating object thingy by gonkius. The original name is somewhat hard to pronounce. It probably spelled Gräjjs 5.1, but I probably did not do it right. The actual build is really hard to describe. That is a highly technical object that has 5+1 rotating domes or spheres incorporated inside of each other. As you can see in the video, this thing is highly complex, and honestly I cannot even think how much time and effort and building went into this. Each inside object has individual rotation, and when the whole thing works, it creates a very mesmerizing effect. It is somewhat similar to a lot of those Technic ball contraptions builds, but this one is actually so original that I cannot think of anything more complex I have seen through my career. And as we are close to finishing this video, number 1 is an entirely massive build. Not only is it massive, it is truly epic. That is the Lego Robin Hood MOC. Simple name, but not so simple execution. This is a huge display diorama with castle, a village, a forest, a number of minifigs. The entire Robin Hood lore is right here. The designer, Ben Pitchforks, is actually the same guy that just had his medieval watermill project passed on Lego Ideas. It has reached 10,000 supporters and it's in the review stage, and I think it may be even part of this build. Anyhow, the Robin Hood diorama has of course the castle. We have a set of smaller buildings like a blacksmith or a medieval cottage. By the way, this one is also right now on Lego Ideas gaining support. There is a number of pathways, a beautiful foliage around the place, brick built trees, number of archers, knights, just overall a highly beautiful scene. And when you think it couldn't get more epic than that, there you go, just turn off the lights and the whole thing just gets illuminated. That means the waterfall, the interiors of the castle, everything just grabs a lot of LED lights for a beautiful effect. I know of course this is somewhat of a convention type of build, but I think even if I saw this one on a massive Lego convention, this one would still be in my top 3. Ben is a highly talented builder, so be sure to check out his Flickr page for his previous creations, and also be sure to support his Ideas projects. I think that with the level of skill he has, these are very well worth supporting. Alright guys, and that is it for this week Top 10 MOCs episode. Here are the MOCs again. Leave a like and subscribe if you love our content, we really appreciate it. And now it is the time to show off what you guys have sent in. Remember, all the rules and the email for that are in the video description below. So without too much more talking, here are your creations, and let's cue the music.